Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. I'm tired of shit.
Hello friends and my lovely viewers. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we will dive into the web of spiders and investigate the new tarantula clan. They honestly look super scary, but we gotta do what we gotta do. So first we will check out their appearances, and then we will discuss their clan trait as well as their skills. Let's get started with the male first. Yep, like I said, scary. It gives me chills down my spine. They even included a stinger, or whatever it's called. By the way, at first I thought the champion literally was a tarantula, but it honestly looks more like a human sitting on a tarantula, don't you think? So are these champions the controllers of spiders or something? Like puppeteers or owners? Well, he definitely looks interesting. Let's see the female as well. It is the same concept as expected. She looks very majestic though, like she freaking owns the spider clan. Actually, they both look like that. By the way, I forgot to mention, but the real clan name is Silken and these champions are both mages. I like mages, and I was kinda expecting us to get a mage clan, to be honest. It has been a while since last time we had this type of champs. Anyways, regardless of their true clan name being Silken, I think I will call them Spider Lords or something. It just rings better in my head somehow. Let's not get lost in the tracks now. It is time for us to discuss their clan trait. Why do I feel like I've seen this clan trait name before? Is this a bug or something? Or am I mixing something up? So, each normal attack reduces the enemy's strength resistance by 6.1% for 4 seconds, stacking up to 2 times. I just did some quick research and found out that the name Soul Annihilation belongs to the Almet clan's trait. So I'm guessing there may have been a small mix-up, and Bloodline accidentally gave this clan's trait the same name as the Almet clan. But the description of Almet's clan trait and this clan trait are different, so we don't have to worry, to be honest. It is just the name that got messed up. Anyways, about this clan trait. The normal attacks basically weakens the enemy's strength resistance for 4 seconds, and the weakening can be applied twice. So imagine an enemy opponent has 100 strength resistance. Our male or female tarantula deals a normal attack to him or her. 6.1% of the 100 strength resistance points are taken away, and thus the enemy only got about 93.9 strength resistance left. This lasts for 4 seconds, but within those 4 seconds, one of our champions may land another normal attack on the enemy. Then 6.1% of the remaining 93.9-ish strength resistance will be deducted. I guess you can get the flow from here. Anyways, if the trait acts like how it is described, that is my prediction of how it will go. By the way, feel free to correct me if any of my calculation is messed up. I did it kinda roughly. But yeah, what do you think about this trait? Do you think it is good? Do you think it is bad? I am honestly a bit unsure. But at the same time, I am interested in trying it out to see how it works. A lot of things may impact if this clan trait turns out valuable or not. I know for a fact that some champions have a lot of strength resistance instead of HP, so that may give this trait an advantage. And the trait works as a debuffer on the enemy. I need some time to think. And I wanna see what this clan is capable of in terms of the skills before I make up my mind about their trait. Since we started with the male earlier in this video, let's start with the female now. Her active skill is called Binding Web. She will spin silk at the farthest enemy. This deals damage equal to 300% of her own strength. It also slowly pulls the enemies in and starts binding them. In the process of binding the enemies, they take damage equal to 70% of our female tarantula lord's strength each second. If the target gets pulled in, he or she will get smashed and take a total damage equal to 250% of our champion's strength. Additionally, the target will also be struck by 10% of their previously lost HP, aka the HP they lost while being pulled in and bound, etc. So this is an AoE damage based skill. Our female tarantula lord can damage both the target and its surrounding teammates. If the target is caught and pulled in, the target will take more damage too. It is kinda like she puts most of her damage and effort to get the target. but the other champions may also be involved in the attack as collateral damage. I mean, as long as she doesn't harm her own allies, we are good. And this skill honestly sounds decent. It will just benefit her less if the opponent got less champions in the team. And if she is fighting in a PvP type of battle, then this will not benefit her much at all in my opinion. Thus, so far, she is looking like a PvE type of champion. But well, we have 2 more skills to investigate. Let's get to it. Her passive skill is called Malicious Plot. The normal attacks will create a 10-second lasting cobweb at the target's location. Enemies that are standing on this cobweb will face debuffs. 30% of the attack speed will be reduced, and 40% of the movement speed will also be reduced. And if they take action while standing on the cobweb, then there is a 25% chance to be bound for 2 seconds. If a cobweb already exists nearby, the webs will merge and reset the duration. This sounds OP, not gonna lie. But I don't think we can have multiple cobwebs out at the same time, since they merge together and all. The debuff effect will probably land on the current target of our champion. So when our female tarantula attack, for instance, the opponent tank, he will be stuck in the web. And then when our female tarantula shifts the target to perhaps a marksman of the opponent team, a cobweb will be placed on the marksman, and the previous cobweb will merge with it and the duration will be back to 10 seconds. Did I explain it properly? The cobweb basically moves along with whoever the new target of our female champion is and resets the cobweb duration. If you have any further questions about this skill, feel free to ask me in the comments below. Personally, I think this passive skill has potential, and I'm kinda starting to grasp the concept of this champion. She is clearly a debuffer type of mage. By the way, there is a small catch in this skill, which is that if the opponent is a long range, then the movement speed debuff may not make a difference to the opponent. Champions like for instance Tidestorm would have no issue with getting the movement speed reduced. But well, the attack speed is kinda important for him though. This very much depends on the opponent. Now, enough rambling. Let's get to her ultimate skill. The last and ultimate skill of hers is called Blooming Despair. She will spin a large amount of silk to hit the enemy 6 times. Each hit deals damage equal to 300% of female tarantula strength to a random enemy. If the target is on a cobweb, he or she will be bound for 2 seconds. The bound enemies take additional damage equal to 150% of female tarantula strength of this ultimate. Okay, so she hits the enemy randomly. I would prefer it if she hit the enemy with the highest strength or the lowest HP/constitution. But this is how it is. At least the bound enemies will take additional damage, which looks great in my opinion. This skill is very random, where sometimes it may deal a lot of damage, while other times it may not deal that much damage. You know, it kinda depends on which enemy is the unlucky fella. I'm to be honest not super impressed with this ultimate skill of hers. The active and passive skill was more intriguing. This made it difficult again. It is like having a wild card on the battlefield. Like, I really enjoy how she debuffs the enemies and all, but she's not giving me a super OP vibe anymore. Perhaps because we had really great champions last time, Bloodline decided to give us weaker champions this time. I don't know. But we shouldn't be too quick to judge this clan. We still have the male champion left after all. And who knows, perhaps he's way better. But first, allow me to thank my sponsor real quick, and then we will head over to the mail. This video is sponsored by AppGallery. In case you don't know what AppGallery is, it is a great app store where you can download all your favorite games from. It's just like a regular app store, apart from the fact that it has amazing rewards that is specialized depending on different games. A good news for Bloodline players is that at the moment AppGallery has some amazing offers for the players of the game. You will get a 30% worth of coupon that can be used for all purchases over 33 USD, while also enjoying a 15% cashback for all purchases made in Bloodline. They also have a VIP program for the more heavy spenders, as you can see on the screen. Anyways, if you're planning to download AppGallery, just follow the step-by-step process that's on the screen at the moment. And for more details, check out the description below. Oh, they also have a giveaway going on right now, so feel free to join their Discord, whose link I will share below as well. By the way, before I forget, let me just mention that AppGallery is available for all Android devices, as well as all the emulators such as LD Player, Nox, blue sticks, and so on. So yeah, download AppGallery today and enjoy amazing advantages and promotions starting today. Let's continue the video by checking out the male spider's active skill first. It is called Cunning Web. He will spin a spider web at the current location. This attack deals a total damage equal to 650% of his strength to the enemies that are within range for 5 seconds. It also restores constitution by 400% of our champion's strength to allies that are within range. If our male spider champion is already on a spider web when the skill is cast, the spider web will be cast on a random enemy. There can be up to 3 spider webs at once. Well, at least he can have multiple spider webs on the field, unlike the female champion. But this skill doesn't actually mention what happens when the random enemy is hit by the spider web. I'm guessing either the passive or ultimate skill will reveal what happens next. Kinda like a storytelling, where the active skill is chapter 1, passive is chapter 2, and ultimate is chapter 3. Let's see if this is actually how it goes. It would be funny if it does. Moving on to the passive skill. The passive skill is called Insidious Bind. Every single 6 seconds, he will bind the enemies on his spider web, thus immobilizing them for 1.5 seconds. Our male champion is also standing on the spider web, like spiders do, but his chance of taking critical hits is reduced by 70% and 5% of his max constitution will be restored every second. He is technically in his own element, so it makes sense for our champion to benefit here. For the allies that are standing on the spider web, the chance to take critical hits is reduced by 25%. His passive and active skill is working together here. The active skill said the following. If the caster is already on a spider web when the skill is cast, the spider web will cast on a random enemy. So if the active skill is timed properly with the passive skill, and he happens to use the active skill just when the passive is activated, then he would throw the spider web at a random enemy as an extra thing. I hope that made sense. Simply put, timing the active and passive skill right will make him launch an extra attack of some sort. Anyways, the passive is looking good so far. Our male champion as well as the allies are taking less critical damage while standing on the cobweb. And male spider is also restoring some constitution meanwhile. This all being said, it is time for his ultimate. Nightmare. That is a very promising name at least. Let's hope it doesn't disappoint us. Male spider will reset all the spider web's binding effects, trigger cooldown and bind enemies on spider webs. This deals a total damage equal to 700% of male spider's strength. Meanwhile, all units on a spider web will gain different effects based on their faction for 7 seconds. Allies will get extra 34% attack speed and extra 30% damage dealt. Enemies will lose 34% attack speed and have a 30% increase of damage taken. This sounds very impressive. It is a buff and it's a debuff. I feel like this champion can become a really great support mage to be honest. To break it down, he will immediately bind or root the enemy to the spider web while resetting the binding cooldown to 0. This will deal a total damage equal to 700% of his strength, and while that happens, the allies inside the spider web will be boosted while the enemies inside the spider web will be debuffed. Allies get 34% attack speed extra and 30% damage dealt extra. The enemies on the other hand lose 34% attack speed and get their damage taken increased by 30%. aka, the enemy take more damage than normal. This skill looks really good. Let's talk about all this as a whole and sum it up. The female looked decent at first, but as we went on and on with the passive and ultimate, I don't think as highly of her anymore. While when we got to the male, I got way more impressed, especially with his ultimate. So, in my opinion, if I had to choose which champion to summon for, I would go for the male. I'm not saying that we should summon for this clan though. Bloodline just recently came with a powerful clan, aka the Corbett clan, which we talked about previously. So, I don't know if I will attempt to summon for these champions. I still need time to think and to figure out which traits may fit these champions well. So I will delay giving the final verdict about this clan until then. Anyways, that all being said, what do you think about these champions? Feel free to let us know in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Like and subscribe to show your support to the channel. And I will see all of you in the next one. Take care, stay foxy, adios, bye!